A lot of things that I do. One of my least favorite things is video editing. So that's kind of part of it. I have been busy, but not really. I don't think I should be trying to justify not having done this for the past 3 weeks. I will say, though, I recorded 2 episodes on the week that I said it was compromised. Basically, I'll just record these sometimes and kind of decide that I'm not happy with it. There have been a couple occasions where I recorded multiple episodes and just wasn't happy with it. But I'm back. I think I should be doing this. Welcome to Noise with Ivan. I'm here. And go ahead and roll the intro, and then I'll tell you what we're talking about today. Okay, so I have been busy. I have switched my. I don't know if you've seen quite a few episodes back. I was going through all these comic book boxes that are filled with 7 inches. I went through a few episodes. I did 7 inch punk singles. Um, I still have my Blu-ray sleeved releases in those. Um, I don't know how much I've talked about the source, um, physical only harsh noise wall compilation, but that's up in the 40s now. I think we've got 40 issues of those on top of the regular Not of the Flesh stuff. It's cool. I have got yeah, but yeah, I have these new storage boxes that are really nice just for my regular uh 5 inch CDs, and then I have a little box for 3 inch CDs. If you're interested in 3 inch CDs, we have one coming out. And by the way, I'm releasing this on Thursday. And it should be Thursday night. So if it's Thursday night or Bandcamp Friday, go ahead, check out the Not of the Flesh Bandcamp Friday or Bandcamp Friday. There might be a deal or something. If there's a code, I'll flash the code on the screen. I'll have to ask about what that code is. But yeah, honestly, I don't like video editing. It's probably my least favorite thing that I do, even though I like it. I like it, but it's probably my least favorite thing I do, and I get to do a lot of what I like to do. So if it's between recording something or listening to something or putting something out, putting something on disc, or reading, the, I like video editing, but it's at the bottom of the list. But yeah, I'm gonna go through everything that we have out right now, or coming out this week. This comes out on Friday. Oh, and I didn't bring the 3 inches. There are 3 inches. I'll show the 3 inches as well. This comes out on Friday. Saturn's Illusions. And I'm gonna make sure I get their names right. Samira Ariane is the one who did the Gates of Hypnos logo. Um, and this is a new person to me. Aura Lunar. Okay, so this is on the ambient side of things. I'm not real familiar with either of their works, but it's very exciting stuff, and I love going in an ambient direction. And yeah, I've never really been into albums with planets on them before, but that comes out Friday. Be sure to check that out. Give it a spin. Contrite Heart, Longing for Shadows. A lovely project that I've been doing for the past little while, aside from my own stuff, which is I don't do anything that's not biblically um, driven or faith driven, really. I don't really make any music like that or apart from it. But Contrite Heart is more thematic. I didn't want everything to be 3 parts. I didn't want everything to be a whole opera. I just wanted it to be like singular pieces, almost like singles, even though it's in the form of an album. And Contrite Heart is going to be noise or ambient as opposed to all of the different, post rock and neoclassical and all those different kinds of things that I like to do with. Okay, Contrite Heart falls into the neoclassical realm too, but it's just not as whimsical as my releases under my own name. STGLTZ. This is available right now already as we speak. His self-titled album, and also Psalm 22 on Militant Liturgy. Also, the Contrite Heart releases if you just want the digital Militant Liturgy. Um, yeah, and check out the Instagram page. I've been updating. Another reason why I've been doing Noise with Ivan. I also wanted to get into reviewing on Rate Your Music, but I'm a little bit too dumb. A little bit too dumb. I'm not quite as tech savvy. I've been very excited about being tech savvy. I'll talk about that in a little bit. Just being on my computer all the time, as opposed to just, oh, I use Pro Tools. You know, I'm starting to get very, very accustomed to either one of my laptops. Um, Sex with Dead Slaves is a collaboration between Roman Shower and I. We also did Data Wound Mutilation, which is coming up next. This is very provocative. I should talk about this for a second. And I talked about it. One thing that sucks is that, I've also been sick, so that was like another reason for not doing it. Um, I've talked about this previously. No, I haven't. Um, it's the only real source of information about why I went. I didn't write it. I didn't write the title "Sex with Dead Slaves." I didn't make this cover. That was Roman Shower, but I encouraged him to put it out because it's striking. It's striking and it has a value to it, and I didn't want that to go to waste. But I'm a little bit. I've had recently a little bit of conviction about making art that is just feeding an aesthetic, and as opposed to, like, Woods Mattress and I talked about this. Gore Noise kind of has this thing where I think art being offensive and negative is a positive thing. I have those provocative titles like "Man Hates God" and "Slavery," but there's a meaning behind it. There's a reason that those things catch your attention, so that you can really unpack, like, what does this statement mean. Um, where I was diving with Sex with Dead Slaves is that but the same as my title for Slavery. This the word slave means a lot to me, and unfortunately, I don't. I don't really think about the. I'm sorry, I don't think about the. When I think of the word slave, I don't think about American history, but I think about you or either as Romans chapter 6, where it says, where it talks about being a slave to sin or righteousness, and um, you were slaves to sin, and now you're a slave to righteousness. And the word doulos that Paul uses when he introduces himself as a servant to Christ, I read a book, and it was called Slave by John MacArthur. It emphasizes that the word doulos, which is usually translated servant, if you read like King James or ESV, which is what I usually stick with. There are other translations that use the word bondservant, and there are some translations that use the word slave. When it says we're a servant of Jesus Christ, as Christians, we were paid for, our sins were paid for by the blood of Jesus. So we are owned by and we are defined by Jesus Christ. There's a big difference between Christianity being a part of who you are and you being defined by Christ paying for your sins. That's why, you can, I tend to say I'm a Calvinist, but then I would be defined by my theological perspective if I was to go around calling myself a Calvinist before I called myself a Christian. Good old Spurgeon, who I don't even have all my Spurgeon books on the shelf because I read Spurgeon quite a bit. He said that it was a fire-breathing Calvinist, Rip Vody Bauckham, by the way, R.I.P. He passed recently. John MacArthur passed too recently. Um, it said in his he described himself as a fire breathing 5 point Calvinist, which is incredible. But yeah, um, I think that that's an important thing to notice when as Christians we as people develop our personalities and our self identity. When Jesus says deny yourself, I think that that's what it means. It means, who are you? If you're defining yourself by your theology or your knowledge of scriptural sure or well readness, then and that makes you who you are, then it's still sin, isn't it? You know, it's you are a Christian. You are bought and paid for by the blood of Christ. So everything should make you focus on that as a Christian. And if you're not a Christian, I suppose that I'm not preaching to you. All I can say is that it's a lovely, lovely thing, um, to deny yourself. Mm. And you know what? It's a really good thing that I didn't do any noise with Ivan's, because my voice is shot. I think it's understandable. I talk so much, and I have most of this to get through. There are more things that I have been listening to, or that I've been listening to, that I like. And I've been adding some of that stuff as well as some of my stuff to a playlist that I'll link below. A lot of cool new things that I can talk about in the future. Um, I have a playlist called Modern Music. I think that's what I named it, and it's private right now, but I'll I'll publish it as um, public. I'll make it public and then link that so that you have some other things to listen to if you don't just want a not of the flesh advertisement for Bandcamp Friday. But it's Bandcamp Friday, so you should check out all this stuff. Um, I have to move some things, um, so that it'd be nice if, in order to do more releases, I only have 4 of these boxes, so I'm gonna have to get like half of this cleared out because we have a lot of new releases coming in. I mean, I made 2 CDs today. Yeah, my voice is shot. I don't know how I'm gonna do any of the things that I need to do. I'm very proud of this. I really like this. Data wound mutilation. If you are into um, interesting stuff with a lot of music and also a lot of noise, um, data wound mutilation is a cool project. This is the second one, and it's still self-titled in a way, but it's just it's I just altered it with letters and numbers. I don't know if you've ever read Gantz. It's a manga series, Gantz, but that's how that computer talks to them, with just weird letters and numbers instead of, well, with numbers instead of letters. Which, if I know computers like I do, they speak way more proper than us. So, and type way more proper than us. So that doesn't really make too much sense. But it was the 2000s. This is not out. I gotta put that out. I don't know if I can find the files for it, but I'll put it out. Contrite Heart Deer. I gotta compare this to Longing for Shadows. This is a lot lighter and a lot nicer. This is very much on the side of ambient music, and it's just 1 track. It's super cool in that regard. I really liked it. My mom really liked it. My girlfriend liked it. So it might be a feminine leaning thing. Um, or just a softer thing. It doesn't, and not everything is harsh noise and experimental to the degree that some of this stuff is. I have really been experimenting a lot with, and you know what? This is probably why we don't have any sales. A lot of the stuff is mine. I've been experimenting a lot with softer noise, and noise noise walls, and harsh noise but just quieter, and with some violins and stuff. Mm. Velvet is also available on there. Velvet is excerpts from slavery. This is a big chunk of slavery. The Effectus Cardinalis suite was all recorded at one time. It's one big it's one big thing. But the way the album ended up working out when I released it was everything was chopped up into small sections. I wasn't allowed to do straight field recordings when I released Slavery through DistroKid, so um, Slavery was very different from this. So I wanted to release this, and there's another one, another chunk from what I made for Slavery that I was thinking about putting out, but I was thinking about adding to it as well. So I don't know, it might be a whole new thing. There's only 2 copies of the original Source, self-titled Source One, and they have the cool half of a back to them. The original Data Wound Mutilation. This is a lot more harsh noise. Um, the second one is kind of glitchy and has a lot of like synths, as opposed to this one, which is definitely straight harsh noise. And it creeps up on you too. Roman Shower is very good about overwhelms and complicated yet simple old school harsh noise. Um, so that's very cool. And then this one, if you like harsh noise walls and you like Zeta Rituals, Hailing Her Heavens and Contrite Heart, the split. There's some neoclassical stuff going on. Also a whole lot of harsh noise walls and a couple vocal samples too. Me and my brother. He absolutely hates his voice and hates that he's on the end of it, but he did a solid favor for me. A fan favorite, the Corpse Honey little duo of albums, and the Honey Flavor. I wanted, because it's called Corpse Honey, I wanted it to be yellow, and I ran out of yellow paper, so I ended up making some of them kind of orange. And everything is 10 copies or less. Some of these are very short, but also, I mean, or some of these are very short runs. There's a handful of these that I have some in backstock, so I might be able to refill. But yeah, I want to, after Bandcamp Friday, I'm gonna try to do as many trades as possible and then get inventory. The original Contrite Heart, Longing for Shadow, or When I Finally Drunk Up the Sea, Isaiah 64, with Saint Jerome engraving. There's a lot of great Saint Jerome paintings. Maybe I could use them all. I don't know. And getting into Makeda, the Jesus story through the eye of a child, which is a very cool release. Yeah, he had a Son Carver on it. It was great, and also this is one of the only ones with this is the only, and I'm not probably going to be using these cardboard sleeves anymore, but this is one of the only ones that has a back to it, which is it just looks so awesome. It looks like an old church pamphlet or something. I really like the way it came out. And the old school. These are our old releases just have Gates of Hypnos, because we used to sell them from the Gates of Hypnos website, as opposed to having a separate physical label. The Burial Garden Seder Ritual split, which I had the pleasure of mixing. It's one of my Rate Your Music credits, which is nice. By the way, I decided I was going to start grinding on Rate Your Music, and all I did was added album covers to my albums, and 3 of them. There's only 3 of mine up there, so it is what it is. And those are, I was thinking they're in short supply. They're not really. 1, 2, 3, 6 of them. One of them's going away. Oleon's getting that. There's another 3-inch split that he's on that we have coming out today. It should be out. Ivan Reich and The Angel of the Enemy, first CD, one of the first CDs I made, um, and it still holds up after all that. Um, and it wasn't on Gates. It was on Gates of Hypnos at the time, but Gates of Hypnos wasn't releasing CDs at the time, so I just made them myself. But they are for sale on Gates of Hypnos. So that is the Gates of Hypnos stock. Again, I got a full thing of them. So um, be sure to look into that from Bandcamp for Bandcamp Friday. I have new stickers that I made. They're not the most quality stickers ever. They're very DIY, just like the CDs are. Um, and yeah, we have. I should mention we're kind of upscaling on the releases, but I don't like jewel cases. Um, so we don't have any jewel case releases. But we're thinking about doing cassettes, and those have gone really well. We're doing what we can. I want to downscale a little bit and go for um, a more DIY style, and then just put out a cheaper overall product. But the thing is that, do you want to put out aesthetically pleasing DIY releases, or do you want to put out other people's releases? Because other people's releases get sold more, you know? So if, like, I would love to do all the Sado Ritual stuff, and that's what I tell him. We have planned on that for a while. I was doing just like a run of those, um, of his releases throughout the years, and do them physically. But you have to you can't just make stuff and have it sitting around, which is what I like to do. But I've got a house full of CDs right now. So anyway, yeah, I'm super excited about Bandcamp Friday. I'm super excited about doing some trades, listening to more music. And again, I have been listening to a ton of stuff. I've bought a lot of stuff on Bandcamp. I never do it on Bandcamp Friday. It's always an impulse buy for me. Um, so I get it, but yeah, I'll try to find something to grab on Bandcamp Friday too. Any recommendations can go in the comment section. Um, and yeah, yeah. Let's I don't know any other stuff. um, there was something I was supposed to say at the end. There's like an ending thing. Okay, but yeah, I'm sorry that I haven't done any noise with Ivans. It's not like I have an audience. It's more of a problem for me. Um, and now that I'm talking and my throat isn't all that it could be, um, I kind of am not too upset with myself for slacking on these. But yeah, there's a ton of I've been doing a lot of reading and listening to stuff. So like I said, there were a handful of albums that I was thinking about doing, but I've already kind of worn my voice out, and I drank, oh my goodness, more than half this coffee. I just got this, um, and we went over everything that everything that Not of the Flesh has put out. There's tons of stuff that I've made, and there's tons of stuff that I have bought. So I hope to go through some more physical collections, but I also am leaning more toward um, just listening to music um, online, listening to that massive. I think I'm at like 3,000 in my Bandcamp collection now, I can always listen to stuff on YouTube too. That's fun to do. And yeah, I mean, it's been a whole lot of music in these past, in this time that I haven't been doing Noise with Ivan, but yeah, keep up with the Not of the Flesh Instagram page if you have releases or you're a label and you want to trade with Not of the Flesh. For these, if you do a similar format like these CDRs, that's great. Um, that's it. That's all I got for you. Godspeed and much love. I can't use my mouse. Oh, that was the thing. That was the thing. Oh, I released and with fall happening now, I released a new album called or a new release. I did a new release. It's 20 minutes, but it's one song. It's a single. Um, through DistroKid. These are neither of these are physical or on Gates of Hypnos. Sorry. Um, but I did a release called Fall Like Ixion, which for my noise fans, this is great noise. Some of the best. I'm not all that in a bag of chips with noise, but it's some of my more intense noise, which is cool. Yet it's still keeping with an ambient sort of structure, and with the sort of neoclassical element that I tend to use, uh, as it's referred to, and then an even bigger deal, Weird Dreams, which is a lot of it's like this all this guitar music with tape hiss that I recorded throughout a long time. So it's not like I'm really throwing a lot of stuff together here. It was just it was sort of a through the years kind of archive thing with a neoclassical synth kind of in that area intro. You'll notice it. It's pink and it's hot pink and it has a Van Gogh graphite and pigment sketch in the middle, graphite and ink. Is it? I don't know if it's pigment. Anyway, in the middle, very cool. So yeah, I'm really coming to love the arts. I'm coming to love reading, listening to music. Being sick and kind of not working and making music of my own at my desk all the time has been a really sobering, cool, and fun experience. So enjoy some music, listen to more than you make. I think that that's a really good thing to roll with. Consume more than you put out, because then how are you gotta make sure that it's more condensed. All right, yeah, Godspeed. Be in the scripture.